How's everyone doing? Thursday night live stream. We'll do a Q&A hangout for a little while. I know I wasn't live yesterday. Last week it was because I got the days mixed up. Yesterday was because I was out and had zero sleep, so I wasn't able to do it. But I'm well rested now. In fact, I woke up from sleep earlier because I smelled food being cooked, and there was no food being cooked. Kind of weird. So there was a weird food smell in my house, and it smelled good, but it just wasn't there. Pretty weird. So I had a bunch of people message me tonight and ask if I was going live. Yes, I was planning on doing it early. I just got back from the grocery store. I had to get some. There's like no food here. I had to go get some food. And I hate it when I go to the grocery store and they're out of Oatly, because that's one of the reasons I go there, is to get my Oatly. But anyway, we're live now, and I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't put out a video today either. You know, to be honest, I'm running out of ideas here. You know, doing this for 11 years, and I don't want to just put out some lame video just because I had to put out a video. So I'll put out a video when I have a decent video to put out on the main channel. Thursday night, hanging out here with my dogs. You ever go to the grocery store and you're like, all right, I got to pick up a bunch of food, and you start putting different things in your car, and then you look at it and you're like, okay, this is going to be expensive, and you're looking in there and you're like, I have no food. There's nothing to eat. Like, you got a cartload of stuff that you're like, what am I even going to make with this stuff? I got some greens, I got some lettuce and spinach and basil and carrots and bananas, and what am I, I want to eat something. I don't want to, these are all things like bananas for my smoothies and stuff, but I want to come home and eat like a meal. You ever do that? You don't feel like, taking forever to make something. You just want to throw something together quick. Always seems to happen to me when I go to the grocery store. It's like, all right, I'm going to go get some food, and then I come home and I'm like, I have nothing to eat. Late zombie. This is like normal time for me, pretty much. So, I did, eventually get an idea. Some of you guys messaged me some screenshots, and I have a video idea for tomorrow, but it's just too late to do it tonight and post it tonight. I was telling you guys that I ordered this, and it came today. So I got my Blu-ray ET. I'm thinking this is probably the newer edition, the CGI that I don't want to watch. But what I do want to watch, and this was very cheap, is the 3 hours of bonus features on the back. I think that's the real reason I bought this. 3 hours of bonus feature, and it was really cheap. It was like $6. I mean, who uses Blu-ray or DVD anymore these days? But boom, I'm gonna check that out when I get some time. Trying to make this audio setup I have a little bit better. So I did purchase a new arm, microphone arm for my good microphone right here. So I should get it in like a week or so, and then hopefully I'll have a microphone right here out of my way down here, because I always seem to pull this cord out and then I lose audio. You guys can't hear it anymore, and this is just way better. Just put it slightly out of frame, and it's right here, and you guys can hear me perfect. But this one doesn't seem to work that well with what I got going on. So, and I am going to be doing more Twitch soon too, with with the zombie game. Days Gone is the one that I want to start playing. Don't wear out the nostalgia. No, I'm not gonna watch. That's why I only watch it like once every like 2 years or something like that. It just played near me at a. Oh, you know what? That's a video that I can edit. I did an interview with my buddy back in the winter, and he interviewed me. It was like a podcast. He interviewed me about E.T. and not just like, oh, what's your favorite movie? E.T. Okay, cool. We're done. No, we went into 2 hours worth of talking, you know, E.T. and growing up and nostalgia of it in the 80s, and we really get into it. And it's all audio, so I want to make a video out of that. I want to put pictures together and maybe video clips and eventually post. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but you know, I do that every once in a while. I'll put something on my channel that I'm really interested in that really might not have anything to do with, you know, the vegan zombie channel. And, you know, I put it up there because I like it and anybody else that wants to see it, but not necessarily other people are going to watch that stuff. Perfect example is I did a tribute video to Carl Sagan last year, and I was super excited about it. And then it really nobody really watched it. And I was kind of like disappointed. But then, you know, the more I think about it, it's like it has nothing to do with the Vegan Zombie channel. And a lot of people follow this channel either for, you know, the zombie part or the vegan part or both combined. So when you throw something else out there, it, you know, might not get that much attention. But I'm gonna put it on the channel anyway. I was thinking whether I'm gonna put it on this channel or the main channel. We should have a Netflix party. That would be fun, but we can't really watch any. There's only one movie that I know of that we can watch without getting the channel violated, and that is Night of the Living Dead. It's got no copyright. George Romero messed up on that, and he regrets it. And it's one of the most widely viewed movies in the world. They can't even put a number on how many times it's been seen and distributed because once people found out there was no copyright on it, other countries were taking it and distributing it, and it just went worldwide, and it became an iconic film, Night of the Living Dead. And the reason for that, for those of you that don't know, so George made that movie in, I think, 67. It came out in 68. And he just got together with some friends. They put in their own money, and they took a few months filming the movie down there in the Pittsburgh area of Pennsylvania. They put the movie together, and it was originally going to be called, I think, Night of the Flesh Eaters or something like that. And the company that was going to distribute it didn't like the name, so they wanted to change it. They're like, what if we called it Night of the Living Dead? And he's like, yeah, I actually like that. Let's go with that. So when they did that, they put the Night of the Living Dead on there, but when they did it, they took away that copyright mark that he had on it. And he it was like an oversight. He didn't catch that error. So when it went out there was no copyright on the movie. So that's why you'll see now that you know this, you can see this in several movies. It'll be playing in the background. And that's because any movie can use that. So I could technically play that movie in the background and we'd be fine. But that's the only movie we could play all the time. Because any other movie, you're going to get your channel suspended. And a perfect example of that would be I was reacting to Threat Level Midnight, the Michael Scott from The Office film that they made in the series. They actually put a full little movie together with that. I think it's like 40 minutes long or something. And I started playing it while I was live streaming. And about 5 or 10 minutes in, I got a notice saying like my channel has been taken off the air. Like I was no longer live. And I was like, what? And it's like you violated community guidelines. So I took it down and I rebooted back up and I was able to go live again. But I got like an interruption because I wasn't allowed to use that. And it was on YouTube. It wasn't actually even on DVD or anything like that. Julie, thank you again so much for the super chat. I appreciate the $10. Thank you. Yeah, I would say that Night of the Living Dead is there's so many really good zombie movies out there, but I would say that it's probably my top zombie movie because that's the one that started it all, and there wouldn't be all these other ones without that one. And just knowing how, and I visited the cemetery where they filmed that. I visited it twice, and I did a couple of live streams there. And I also visited the mall that's not too far from there where they filmed Dawn of the Dead about 10 years later. Oh, the plant-based. People say, what does your shirt say? And I'm like, PlantBased. PlantBased. And then they're like, what? So if you see Night of the Living Dead, I know it's 50 plus years old right now, going on 52, and I think it was released October 1st, 1968, and George Romero definitely way ahead of his time, and there's a plot twist at the end if you want to go see it, and you're going to be like, wow, nobody was doing this back in the 60s. And George Romero did it first, but because it's a horror film, nobody really talks about it. And it was very low budget, very, very, very low budget. But he learned from that, and then he always loved making his own independent films. He did one Hollywood film, and he hated it because he wasn't able to improvise. He wasn't able to do any of his creativity things. It was like everything was set to like everything was exact that he had to do, and he just had no leeway in it. And he talks about that, and he talks about how, and he's my favorite director probably because of that. Watching like the behind the scenes footage of him making like Dawn of the Dead, he just seemed like the nicest guy. You see, and I've even had this firsthand experience of directors just screaming and yelling at the cast and people. When I was an extra in New York City, it was like everybody was just like, and he's just screaming on temperature. And I know not all directors are like that, but George was the kind of guy, like, you just can't do this with every director. Like, people would come up to him and be like, George, what if we did this scene again, but we do it this way? And he's like, oh, yeah, let's do that. Just seemed like a nice dude. And he got his start, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He used to make TV commercials and stuff in the Pittsburgh area. I know we should probably be talking about this around Halloween time, and it's the middle of summer. Well, it's near the end of summer, but it still feels like it's the middle. At least here, anyway. You got to take off, Julie. Well, have a great night, and I appreciate that super chat. Yeah, he did something. There's look into it. He didn't have a copyright on it, and that's what happened to it. You live in the same town as Steve Carell, but never met him. What town is that? Yeah, I can't wait for Halloween either. Well, I can't wait for the Halloween time to come, when fall starts, and I know that it's not like this everywhere because I know California and Florida, they don't really have seasons changing and stuff. But where I'm at, the seasons are amazing, and it's one of the most amazing time around here is autumn, fall, and the smell, the trees, they all turn colors, the leaves fall. It looks so nice up here in upstate New York. We have the worst winters, but we have the best fall. And that gets me in the mood of like the Halloween spirit. And I milk it. I vegan milk it for like the next 2 months. Yeah, we talked about that, Travis, for me reading ghost stories on the air. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. I've only got a limited amount of ghost stories, so. The fall that lasts for 1 hour. Usually we have a pretty decent amount of time for fall up here, but there are a couple years that I remember where fall lasted for like it seemed like a day, and then it was like snowing. I was like, wait, we just got robbed. It was like I was sweating mowing the lawn the other day, and now I'm shoveling the driveway. And true story. And that's how spring comes too. Like literally, it's freezing cold, snow blowing the driveway. The next week, I'm like, wow, it is super hot. I got to mow my lawn. It would be cool if I was on coast to coast. So, that would be cool. But there was another show, and I don't remember what it is now, but one of you guys messaged me and said I should try to get on this show where they talk about paranormal and alien and stuff like that. And I reached out to the lady that hosts the show. I wrote her. I told her that I was referred to her channel and that I had a story, and I never heard back. But that's the second time. The 2 times I actually reached out for something like that, I never heard back. So it's kind of like, all right, okay, I have a story, but if you don't want to hear it. I did that once when I was like 19. I saw something on the news where somebody wanted people to reach out to them if they had a story, and I'm like, you know what? I think I do have a story, And I wrote to him. I'm like, look, you're going to think I'm crazy, but blah, 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 and never heard back. So that just makes me feel like I'm crazy, which I'm not. Sometimes the snow comes down in May. Oh, wait, I didn't see if somebody answered me about where Steve Carell, Man's Marshfield. Where is that? Is that California? You've seen Steven Tyler riding his motorcycle? My friend has a story with Steven. Did he tell that story? I think he told that on my live stream. Did he tell it? Did he tell it? Or did he tell me? Anyway, I had him on there. He's the one that did the music video, and I shared it, and I had him on my live stream. He met Steven. And Steven Tyler is like his favorite singer. And he met him. He kind of stalked him. I've never heard of a Hollywood Video. Well, I'm on the East Coast, so but yeah, Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster. It's like there's an atmosphere to it, But right here, I got some VHS tapes. Got a VCR right here too. So I've got a lot of old home videos to share with you guys. It's very time consuming to go through these, put them on my computer, and find certain, clips to share with, but I have them. Yeah, they didn't include the copyright notice on the movie, which was needed. So that little C with the circle around it, it was on there, and then when they put the new title up, it was no longer on there. And it was fair game for anyone. But yeah, that is good to know that they changed that, because I had problems with that for my Vegan Zombie script. And I was told that all that mattered is I have documented proof of when I first wrote it. And I guess there's no proof of when I wrote it up in pencil, my actual physical script, but I actually took that, typed it up, and I emailed it to my friend like around the same time. So I have a documented first copyright of my script. And a lot of things are happening. There are movies that have since used the premise that I created before they, like, for instance, I'm not going to say what it is, but if you guys can recall, Zombieland, the original, came out after I wrote my script, and it was a very, 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 it was the same premise. Exactly. And my friend went to the movie to see, I was supposed to see it too, but someone died and I wasn't able to go see it that night. And my friend messaged me and said, "You're not going to like this." I'm like, "What? What?" He's like, "You're not going to like it. That's all I'm saying." And when I saw it, I'm like, "What?" But I'm over that. And my sister sent me something today. Wait, was it my sister? Hold on. Maybe it wasn't my sister. I think it was my sister. Anyway, somebody sent me something. I thought it was her. Yeah, it was my sister. She sent me an article of, and I don't know, I didn't verify, I don't know if this is true, but the article was that, what was it? I think it said, let me read it real quick. I'll pull it up. China says chicken wings from Brazil tested positive for coronavirus. So people are getting infected from the meat they're eating. And that's my premise of the vegan zombie. People getting infected with a virus, with an infection that's turning people into zombies from the meat and the dairy that they're consuming. And when I originally made it, it was, well, it always has been. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people just look at the show for what the show is. But if you really look into it, what I created was people, also known as zombies, are blindly eating meat / corpses, flesh, and they're becoming zombies from doing that. So the analogy is just people with their blockers on, mindless zombies, pretty much, that's the analogy, are mindlessly eating meat and dairy and becoming sick because of it. And my analogy was zombies eating flesh, people eating flesh and becoming zombies, because you're not questioning what you're eating. You're just, oh, I saw a commercial for this, I'm going to go eat it, and it's poison and it's killing you. Yeah, and everything's coming true now. Yeah, exactly. So now more than ever, I wish that, I mean, I can't rush it, but I so wish that I had my movie already out last year so people can, because now it kind of sounds like, oh, I'm using this pandemic to come up with this. But no, I wrote this almost 12 years ago, 11 and a half years ago I wrote this. Corpse Munchers. Soylent. So I guess what do you guys want to see on the channel, on the main channel? Like, what kind of videos? Maybe I should do a poll vote. Is the audio decent tonight? I did have to change some things. It's like, this is never ending. Movie reviews and cooking videos. That sounds fun. That sounds real fun. That's something that I would totally do. Except for the cooking videos. The cooking videos are kind of a thing of the past, I believe, on my channel. They just don't work on my channel anymore, which is weird because I started as a cooking channel. They just don't work anymore. I might be able to get away with doing what I eat in a day and food hauls. Vegan on a budget. The problem with those is, like, I kind of stopped doing those because of COVID. I like to go to the store and shoot video at the store, showing you guys different things, what's out there. Now it's just like, people look at you like, they're all like, what is that person doing? Touching everything and putting it back. Is that Chris Cooney? That's me. Or it's my channel. Now that would be fun. I could make some food. That's a good idea. I'll make some food and then we can review horror movies. We could talk about it. Well, Linda, if you go back and you look at the last video that I did that, I got a lot of hate. I got a lot of hate because I was going to the store and doing that. It was when it first happened and first started, but people were hating. Holly, that's always a good one, but I think it's overdone. I've talked about it so many times about what I'm passionate about. I mean, that can get other people excited and stuff, but I feel like if I just keep doing the same thing. How come I didn't go live yesterday? I was with Rachel, and it was her birthday party at her parents'. I went over there, and I had no sleep, and I didn't get home until really late, and I was exhausted. I had slept for 2 hours in the last 48, so I couldn't do a live yesterday. A muck bag, a bag of muck. How pale I look? Probably because of the lighting or something. I don't know. I don't think I'm really... I'm not. I'm more red than I am pale. Let's see if we can... It's always different here. Let's see if we can give a color correction. There we go. Turn that down. Way down. Contrast. I am pale, but I'm not that pale. But I don't bathe in the sun. For the party, just had food, and her mom made an ice cream cake. Marsh gave me 1 pound of avocado or 1 pound of beef. I don't believe that's true at all. Because you got to think, for the beef, I think it takes 660 gallons to produce 1 pound of beef. And that animal has to drink water. They drink a lot of water and eat a lot of food every day. And I didn't realize how much they eat and drink until I went to, I was at Mockingbird Farm Sanctuary about last year. And Sophie is a huge 2,200 pound cow. And to see how much she was drinking and eating just in the time that I was standing there is more than a person could probably eat or drink in probably a month. So all these animals eat and drink that every single day. So it's not comparable. And they say the same thing about almonds too. Not true. You were at the grocery store looking for dandies and you couldn't find them, and then you woke up and you're like, oh my God, that was a nightmare. Grass-fed agriculture is not sustainable, and you can't have enough land to have that for everybody. It just doesn't work. No, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of I think Mike the Vegan did a video on it. He's got all this statistics and facts. Go look that. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know that it's been debunked. Can't do it. You got to remember here, so an animal eats all their grains and they drink all the water and they live up to however many years before they're done. And they're devastating the land. You got to think about where their waste goes. I mean, there's a lot more to it than you just think, oh, it's just a happy cow eating grass. I mean, they give them more than grass. You know, you got to supplement them more than just grass, and they do. You're being lied to about a lot of the stuff out there that they say is organic or grass-fed or humane. It just doesn't exist. So you got to remember that they're eating grains, they're eating feed in agriculture that's made for them to go. It's like they're the middlemen, and you're recycling what you could have just planted crops and agriculture for just people and take out the animals altogether. And you'd save a lot more animals. I know people try to say, oh, more animals are dying. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. Actually, I was just thinking about this earlier, that there's a huge difference between, being vegan and because of the food that you're eating is inadvertently killing bugs and maybe small rodents during, utilizing crops and everything in agriculture. And there's a huge difference between that than your decision causing an animal to live its whole life suffering in a factory farm because of a decision that you want to eat meat. It doesn't need to be done. I don't care what anyone says. It's simple compassion. There's other beings at stake here that don't need to be put through what they're being put through because of our decision. It definitely is, Linda. I mean, you could make an argument what the most sustainable meat is out of all the meat, but that doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the most sustainable meat is better than no meat at all. Yeah, I would not put anything on that. And besides, it's not a decision of compassion. Remember, there's other beings that are living a life of torture. Imagine if you were living a life of torture and nobody cared and nobody was there to help you. Like, you can make a decision to help these animals. You can make the right decision, the compassionate decision. No, this is not a cult. This isn't like a brainwashing thing. This is just doing the right thing. It's doing the right thing. And there's beings out there that are living a life of complete hell because of the horrible decisions that people make. And it doesn't need to be that way. We're not the only ones on this earth. And we shouldn't treat others like we are. I know people need to do what they need to do to survive, but that doesn't mean that we have to, when we're not in a survival situation, that we have to cause and wreak havoc to other beings on this planet. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, and I think that will take over, and I can't wait for that to take over, Holly. Lab meat, although I definitely don't consider it vegan, is a huge step in the right direction for ending 99% of the suffering out there. If people still want their meat, yeah, there's a lot of trolls out there that just their whole agenda is to discredit vegans for whatever reason. Like I just had one recently, and I made a post on Vegan S'mores Day. I posted s'mores, and they were like, "Are you really trying to tell me that this is healthy and this is not healthy?" And like I'm a carnivore, and I'm like, first of all, I didn't ask what you were. Second of all, I never said anything that this was healthy. I don't know why you're getting that. I don't know why you're equating what I'm posting to health, because I didn't say anything about that. Obviously, look at it. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's a s'mores. And people all over the world, well, I don't know if all over the world, but all over this country, eat s'mores in the summer. So if you're going to eat s'mores in the summer, why not eat a vegan s'mores? I never said anything about being healthy. It's just more kind. And then somebody else commented on my thing yesterday saying that basically that I need to stop pushing veganism, because I posted my Go Vegan shirt, the Go Vegan Stranger Things font, and somebody said that you need to stop pushing this and all you're doing is following a trend. And I'm like, oh really? I'm following a trend? That's funny, because I've been vegan for 26 years and it definitely was not a trend when I started it, and I've stuck with it all these years. It's not a trend. Veganism is not trendy. It's not a trend. I mean, I could see some people using it that way, or like, oh, I'm going to try this and look at it as a diet. But veganism is a state of mind of being compassionate towards our fellow animal friends. Making a compassionate, altruistic decision to not eat one thing and eat a different thing, because we all know we all have to eat. I don't know. It's just it's maddening how many anti-vegans just love to come on and spew that. Are we still doing this? Like, I mean, I have a viral meme because somebody, for those of you that haven't seen, I know a lot of you have seen it because a lot of people are using it. Some people are even using it without my permission and making money off it, which is not cool. If you're watching this, you know who you are. You need to stop doing that. But there's a meme out there because I did a video and somebody said you need to stop. You need to stop what you're doing because you don't look healthy. You look like you're 35 years old and your skin is going to ruin your skin. So don't be vegan. And I was like, oh, thank you. You think I look like I'm 35. I'm actually 44. So that was a huge backfire on that person. Yeah, Indy's kind of going crazy right now for some reason, which he shouldn't be, because he got 2 treats and a carrot before we started this live, and we've only been on for 37 minutes. He's being a little drama queen. I'm not going to say their names because then they're just going to come over here, and I'm not in the mood to cut the stream short right now. Exactly, Hummus Hero. I'm trying to live my best life to just show people that, like, hey, you can be an unhealthy vegan or you can be a healthy vegan, and you can do it for the long term. You don't need to, oh, I feel so much healthier now that I'm eating animal products again. It's like the cure-all. No, you are full of shit. You're full of shit. Every one of you that does it. Not you, but you know who I'm talking about. Oh, how they hold their carrot. Yeah, they put it in between their paws like this, and then they start chewing it. They both do it. Does anybody else have a dog that does that with their carrots? It's like they hold it. Their little paws hold it. Today's my grandma's birthday. She would have been 108 today. Sorry, that was random. I picked up my phone and I saw the date. Cussing Chris because I said shit once in a video. Or 3 times in a video. Maybe that's what I need, because these videos are tanking. Honestly. My grandma was born a couple months after the Titanic sank. 1912. Yeah, so many people push their, they have an eating disorder, and, not shaming anybody for having an eating disorder, but definitely shaming people for using that as an excuse to not be vegan. That's ridiculous. It's just, you know, it's dangerous to the whole vegan movement, because you got people saying that, oh, I just couldn't do it. No, you couldn't do it because you were restricting what you were eating for a long time, and you started to feel detrimental effects because of it, and then you decided, oh, I'm going to start eating something that is so much more unhealthy than, you know, if you ate a bigger variety of foods that were vegan. It just doesn't make any sense. And you know, people will gobble that up. They'll eat it right up, and oh, well, they did it, I'm going to do it. And that's why I speak out about this stuff. Would I ever consider getting back in? What do you mean by that? I am in the job market. I work every day. That's kind of a weird question to ask. You tried to give a carrot to your dogs and they looked at you like you're crazy. Maybe I started giving carrots to Indy when he was real young. So he knows what a carrot is and he loves carrots. And I think when I first tried to give one to Zeke, he looked at me like, I don't know what this is, why you're giving me this. But then he looked at Indy, and Indy just ran in the other room and started eating it. So Zeke's like, well, maybe I'll try it. And now they both love him. It was like a learning thing. Matt says, yeah, the YouTube game is crazy. A couple other content creators have talked about how some of their videos are tanking. I'm very aware of it. I know I try my best not to talk about it, because I don't think people like to hear about it. But it's something very real to me. Dr. Marge, happy birthday to your sister. Yeah, if you're plant-based, just say that. Yeah, I'm mostly plant-based. See, that's why I don't like plant-based, because people say plant-based, but they're like, well, you know, like a little bit of meat in there. You know, but mostly I'm plant-based, you know, here, it's like, it's not the same as vegan, you know? So I don't want, like, as far as the food aspect goes, you know, and I know vegan is a ethical decision, ethical choice, but at the same time, as far as, you know, when we go out to eat in places, you gotta know, like, if you're telling me something's plant-based, but you're using honey or, you know, milk or whey or whatever, then it's not vegan. So there needs to be a clear-cut definition. So when somebody tells me something's all plant-based, I always, and I can tell right off the bat that they don't want to say vegan. And I'm like, oh, is it vegan though? And they're like, well, yeah, it's all plant. I go, is your product vegan? Well, you know, it's all plant-based. It's like, if you're not going to tell me the answer, then I'm not going to try your product. I need to know if it's vegan or not. I need a clear answer. I don't like how, I mean, this was never and I know that maybe I'm sounding like very picky, but look, I've been vegan for 2.5 decades. You know, this is my life. You know, since I was a teenager, I've lived this way, and I don't want people to come in today and all of a sudden start changing definitions around. You know, when I've lived this way for almost 30 years. If you talk about meat-free, I went vegetarian 30 years ago. So more of my life has been this way than it hasn't been this way. And it's not cool when people try to, you know, interchange definitions and try to make new definitions for it. It's not okay. You did not think I was 24. There ain't no vegan accounts talking about honey in a pro manner because they ain't vegan. Honey's not vegan. It never was vegan. It never will be vegan. Morningstar's Incognito. That's. I haven't heard of that one. What? Where did you go for your birthday? What restaurant was it, Stacy? Stacy says she went to a restaurant for her birthday and ordered a salad marked as vegan, and then the server said, yeah, it's vegan. It just has a little bit of egg on the avocado crouton. A little bit of animal product in your otherwise vegan food is no longer vegan. Sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not happy when like I ask waiters like several times, are you sure this is vegan? And then find out that it's not when they said it was. That's happened to me before. And it's just not okay because, I mean, people think, oh, you're just being dramatic. You're being a little bit extreme. And it's like, what if you just asked, you sure there's no shit on my steak? There's none? And then they put it out there like, oh, we're sorry. Some rats in the back, they did shit on your steak. Sorry. Not a big deal. And then you freaked out because of it. And then they're like, well, you're being kind of extreme, you know? All it was a little piece of shit. Like, that's how I feel when somebody does that to me with my food. So sorry if I get a little bit dramatic, you know? Did my dog just open the gate and go downstairs by himself? He did. See, Indy will do that. Zeke will not leave my side, even if the door is open. He's right next to me. Yeah, I don't like eating anywhere other than vegan place. But unfortunately, the place I went to was advertised as like a mostly vegan place. So I'm like, oh yeah, they're mostly vegan, and that, you know, this is like this is like 2007 or 8, and yeah, so this is over 10 years ago. And I was taking my girlfriend at the time there for her birthday, and I've already told this story, so some of you have already heard it. But we ordered there was cheese bread. And I asked them, because this is back at the very beginning stages of vegan cheese started to come out. This is when Daiya first came out. There was Daiya, and then there was Veganrella. Of course, Tofutti had stuff, but it was always hard to find certain things. But anyway, what was I saying? I got distracted here. So I asked them, because at the time there was a few cheeses that did not agree with my, like I couldn't really eat Veganrella, and the first Follow Your Heart. So I don't know if you remember, but there was a Follow Your Heart that was like in a block, and I couldn't eat it. It just didn't agree with my stomach. All their new stuff is super good. There's slices, there's shreds. It's a different formula, and it's really good. I can eat it. But back in the time, like I needed to know what cheese it was, because certain cheese wouldn't agree with my stomach. So I'm like, what kind of vegan cheese for the cheese bread? And they're like, it's Daiya cheddar. But they actually said it was Daiya cheddar. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's Daiya. So I'm like, all right, I can do the Daiya. So I ordered the cheese bread, and then it came. There was no one there. We were the only ones there, literally. And it came out, and I'm talking to her, and I just grab a piece, not even thinking about it, and I start biting into it. I start eating it, and she goes, "That's real cheese." And I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Oh my God, And I called the waiter over, and I was like, get over here. No, I wasn't like that. I was like, this is real cheese on this? And they're like, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, we put real cheese on it. I was like, we had that, just a second ago when we had that conversation where I was asking what kind of vegan cheese you had, and I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. And then you said, okay, like that, like this isn't okay. I was like ready to flip the table, okay? But it was her birthday, so I was like, all right, let's just wait for our food to come out. And that had been the first time I'd ever put in something that wasn't vegan in my mouth since 1994. That's quite a long time, and that wasn't okay. So our food comes out, and I ordered a certain thing, and it came out, and they gave me the wrong thing, and then they gave her a burger, and she's like, this is disgusting. And I'm like, they didn't even give me the right thing. So I tried a piece of her burger. I'm like, how can you have a restaurant and even serve something like this? It was disgusting. It literally tasted like chewing cardboard. So I was like, this wasn't even what we ordered. Like, we just want to leave right now. Can you give us our check? And they gave us our check. They didn't take anything off of there for giving us the wrong thing or nothing. And this is before I had enough confidence to actually, stand up and say something. This would not happen today. Like, this would not be okay today with me. I don't care what I look like. It's just, that's something that's not okay. And if you're working in the food business, you need to know, like, if somebody orders something, don't, like, that's nasty. Sorry, but I'll never go there again. I will never go to the Owl House again. And I'll never say anything good about it. It's not bad to eat dinner late if that's when you're eating. For me, I eat late, but I usually fast throughout the day. I have a different sleeping schedule as most people, so I'll eat late, but I also don't go to sleep until when most people don't go to sleep. So vegan dogs are smarter than your average dog. They know it. Oh, okay. So what can I eat? Vegan. So those are just a couple of stories I've had. I've had a lot of other bad experiences at restaurants, like really bad, which I've talked about in other videos. But that's like the worst. Is when they, sometimes it's an accident, but these they were literally. There was nobody in there. There was no one there. My dog's poop is usually like orange and carroty and sweet potato-y. And the squirrels eat it. So I don't have to ever like pick it up in the backyard. I mean, sometimes, but the squirrels eat it. It's weird. Did they change the formula for V-Dog? I don't know. Like, sometimes, because I always have V-Dog, and sometimes the food does look a little bit different in each bag. I don't know. But I don't know if they changed the formula. Maybe it's just... Insomnia? I don't know. Like, usually there are certain times, like, usually I can sleep fine, and but then there'll be like times for like a week at a time where I can't. Like, literally I'll be tired and I fall asleep, and I wake up like 2 hours later and I'm like totally rested and I can't get back to sleep. So I'm like up, and then the next day comes and I'm working, and then I get so tired I fall asleep for an hour. And then, like, so then, you add it up, 72 hours, I might only have, like, 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And I'm always thinking, so I got to, like, stop thinking. Usually what I did the other night to fall asleep is I just pretended. I just closed my eyes, and I'm like, all right, there I am. I know this sounds crazy, but like I like try to like think of stories in my head that I would want to see a movie of. I'm like, all right, I'm in the medieval times. I just all of a sudden appeared there. I've got nothing except for like very, just a pair of clothes. That's all. But I'm immortal. So now I'm gonna live history. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna live history all the way up to present day. And I started thinking of all the cool things I can do, and like try to maybe influence bad people not to do bad things, and just different things throughout history of, I don't know. It's silly, but it's fun to think about. And then next thing I know, I fall asleep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm a very light sleeper. The only time that I don't remember things is when I totally had like no sleep for the longest time, and I like totally pass out. And yeah, I guess sometimes I say or do things that I don't remember. Lately I just been going down rabbit holes with different videos and stuff, like watching things. you know it's like all right, it's time to go to bed. I gotta fall asleep. Oh, it's time to watch what would happen if I was on the surface of Jupiter. Well, there is no surface. Your body would simply just die. I gotta know these things. What if you were at the bottom of the Mariana Trench? Oh my God. I gotta know these things. Now that your neighbor has decided to smoke pot again, you might sleep better tonight. TMI there, produce. Oh my God, you got the burrowing owl that has a cardboard hamburger. Is there a conspiracy about cardboard hamburgers with food places with the name owl in it? Chris, I'm not sure about that, but there's definitely evidence that it can get into your body and your cells, because you should listen to Noah Craig's story about he's got a neurological disease, and it prevented him from walking. He was in a wheelchair for a while, and this is before he was vegan, and it was because what he thinks was because he had leaky gut, and it's a big long name. I forget it. It's like something myopathy. You got to go to his channel and he'll tell you about it. But the cells from like the meat he was eating, what they think was like if he ate anything like that, that was like pig, pig's DNA is very similar to our own DNA. So the body, the T cells were attacking it because it leaked into his body. They were attacking it, and they're like, okay, we got to attack this, and it was very much like other parts of his body, so they were attacking his body. And he ended up going vegan, and he got better. And he no longer needed treatments, and he slowly was able to walk again, and look at him now. And now he runs, he works out, he's healthy. Here, if you let me see. If you go to, it's actually his URL for his channel. If you go to Noah Craig, it's well, let me pause that. It's Battling CIDP. So CIDP is what he has. Let me read it to you. CIDP. Okay, CIDP is known as, I mean, Craig can rattle it off like that. It's chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. And it damages your nerves. So he was unable to walk. Oh, there's absolutely a correlation between diet and just for one, milk. Milk has a case of morphine in it, and it's very much like morphine, and obviously not as strong, but milk is meant for that, to get the baby calf to continue to wean so it doesn't die, to continue to feed and want more of the milk so it can grow up. And when people drink that, they don't realize it, but they become, addicted to it. So that's why they say, well, that's why 22-day nutrition is 22-day nutrition. They say 22 to 23 days to break an addiction. 22 days, you break it. The 23rd day, you're new again. So that's why they always say try the vegan 30-day challenge, because it gives you enough time to get over the cravings of dairy, cheese, milk. Because there is an addictive property. It's very slight. People don't realize it. They're not getting high, but there's definitely an addiction to it. So when you go vegan, if you're like craving milk, dairy, cheese, all that, then give it some time. Give it some time, because it's not always going to be like that. And a lot of people say this. Actually, most people say this. The people that don't say this never really, I feel like they never really were doing it for the right reason. They're doing it for like dietary reason, which isn't the same, but and restricting on diet, and it's the same every time. But the people that I know that are vegan, they all say the same thing, and I truly feel it, deep down. Like, I've been saying this for years and years and years. Watch my first Why I Went Vegan video that I did long time ago. I said this, and I truly believe it. I feel like going vegan was the single best decision I ever made in my life. Not knowing it at the time, I'm so glad that I did it. And I had no idea that it would impact so many different things by going vegan. And looking back, I'm like, I'm so lucky and glad I followed that journey, or whatever it was, during that time. I mean, I would have been happy to do it now, but I'm so glad I did it all those years ago, because I knew something wasn't right when I was younger. Like, I knew something wasn't right where people were eating certain animals and not others, and I asked those questions when I was real little, and that's why I stopped eating meat when I was 14. I mean, it's not it's one of the reasons why it was so easy for me to do that, because I loved animals. I have videos of why I did all those things, but it was one of the reasons. Rebalancer, I thought you've been vegan for like as long as me. Like 90s and stuff. I'm sorry to hear that, Dana. I don't know if there's a, I don't know that. I don't know if alcoholism and diet. I mean, there's probably some kind of correlation, but Vegan Gal, congrats, 21 years. Yeah, Badass Vegan, yeah, I saw that. Badass Vegan put up that thing saying, if you could only say 3 words to yourself when you were 18 years old, what would you say? And, well, the first thing that came to my mind was like, I mean, it came to my mind like, go vegan, but I was already vegan, so that was irrelevant to me. So what else could I have done? I was thinking, well, 3 words, this is what I wrote anyways. 3 words wasn't enough to say. Like if I went back in time and I saw myself, I don't think 3 words could have like really, I would need to say more to myself than just 3 words. But if I had to only say 3 words, I thought about it for a while, and then I did a little bit of research on which one, and then I said 2 different things. I said, okay, there's 2 different things I would say if I could. The first one was time travel exists, hoping that maybe I would be like, oh my God, and write a book about how I came back to see myself and like, look into time travel, because I wouldn't be there if it didn't exist. Or the other one would be buy Apple stock. And I would have done everything I could back then to do that, so I'd be able to do more things with, the visions I have today, because I don't care what people say. I've heard it all my life, and I grew up pretty freaking poor, and I hear, well, money is really nothing. It does, but you know what? You can do a heck of a lot with money, and there's a heck of a lot of things I want to do out there that I can't do because of finances. So I would definitely, that's what I would say to myself. What am I going to do for my 50 years vegan? Come on. I don't have a 50-year plan yet. Who knows? Yeah, Taylor, there's no such thing as humane slaughter. If you look up the definition of humane, it's the opposite of slaughter. There's no, you can argue one's a better way to go than the other, but you can't argue humane. It doesn't exist. Oh, I would love time travel. Those are some of my favorite movies. I wish there was more out there that were like, I love time travel movies. I do. I love everything about it. Like, I love reading about it. Time travel is so intriguing. I have a really good, I have never done it yet, but someday I'll make that video. But I had like a dream that could have been a nightmare a long time ago, and it was so deep and cool that I woke up, I'm like, I can't believe I dreamt that. I can't believe my brain came up with that. And it's simple, but it would be an awesome short. Short movie. I can't make it where I am right now. I'd have to be somewhere probably out west or in the south somewhere in order to do that. What if an animal lived to an old age and was suffering with a broken leg? What are you supposed to do? Well, in that case, if there was no, then a vet would come and basically put it to sleep the way, they put dogs and cats to sleep. If they're in too much pain and suffering and there's nothing they can do about it, then that would happen. But, you don't. That's completely different than raising an animal to slaughter and eat it, than to put an animal out of their misery. Because animals that are slaughtered for foods are not being put out of their misery. I mean, I guess you could make an argument that they're not suffering anymore, but they should never have been brought into the world in the first place to grow up for our food. I mean, apply that same logic. Like you have a kid. Little Billy grows up. Oh, little Billy had a great life. Little Billy's 13 now. Well, you had a great life, so it's okay to, humanely slaughter Billy now because it's Billy's time to go. Because we need to eat, That'd be wrong on so many levels. But there's no difference between doing it to a human or an animal in my mind. It doesn't need to be done. Like, we're not living in a world where we need to eat animals so that we can survive. I haven't eaten animals in 30 years, so, and I'm still here and I'm healthy. So you can't go the health route, because that's not. And we'd have more than enough food if we just stopped bringing animals in the world, because there's more than enough agriculture that goes. There's more agriculture that goes into feeding those animals than to feeding humans, because animals eat way more food than humans, and there's way more animals out there consuming the grains that we're growing for them, when we don't need that. We can take the animals out of the equation, all that space where we're growing crops to feed the animals, to grow crops for humans, get rid of hunger, and the healthcare system would skyrocket, because not as many people would really need health insurance like they do now. There wouldn't be the need for all these, heart disease would be down, obesity would be down, diabetes would be down. There's an easy fix that just people just don't want to hear. But I hope that answers your question, if that was a legit question. Time After Time, one of the best movies. Did I see that movie? Let me Google that. And we're not talking about Cyndi Lauper. Time After Time. No, not Cindy. We're looking for the movie. Time After Time. I'm going to have to put film in there, because Time After Time, 1979. Oh, it was before Cyndi Lauper. I don't think I saw this. But you know what was another one around the same time, like a few years after that, that's a really good time travel movie? Somewhere in Time. One of my favorites. It's got Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour. People would make this argument like 20, 30 years ago, like, well, probably, 30 years ago, nobody knew what it was, and when I say nobody, like very few, but, when I was first went vegan, people made that decision, like, oh, that's gross, blah, blah, blah. But you can't make that anymore, because, yeah, you could eat it like just, healthy whole foods, but you could also eat everything. You could make double Whopper burgers that are vegan. You could make, like vegan chicken wing, everything that you can make, that people eat, animal wise, you have vegan versions of it now, that there's just no excuse, really. There's no excuse. The only legit reason I've ever heard somebody say they don't want to, they can't be vegan, is because they simply don't want to be vegan. Okay, you're not lying, you don't want to be vegan. That you said it. But don't come up with like, well, I tried it once and I got really sick and my doctor said I can't. Bullshit. That didn't happen. Oh, but I did it right. No, you didn't. Yeah, and I don't doubt it. Yeah, there's way more animals brought into this world to eat than there is people in the world. What did they say? They said if people, I forgot the exact statistics, but it's somewhere like, if people were killed at the same rate that animals are being slaughtered for our food, we'd be extinct in like, what was it, like 20 minutes or something? Or maybe it was like a day. I don't. It's something like that. It's something very like, we'd be extinct in like a very, very short time. So take that into consideration. Taylor, I mean, I honestly, like, I think that's where you're wrong. I think that everything that we need here is here without eating an animal. All the plants give all the nutrients to the animals that we eat. And there's everything we need right there. Like, if there wasn't, me for one, I'd be very sick or dead right now if it wasn't, because I haven't eaten animal products in a quarter of a century. So, and yes, I mean, the experts agree that every human can be vegan at all stages of life. You don't get that many experts saying the same thing if it's not true. And, they're the ones that did the studies on the science behind it. And I know, because I've experienced it and personally, I've lived it. And I didn't always eat the healthiest food, and yet I'm healthy. But there's other people that are vegan. There's groups of people that have not eaten animal products and live longer than anybody. We all need, everybody's different, but we all need the same things. We all need, carbohydrates, sugars, fats, different nutrients. It's what the human body needs, and everything can be absorbed from plants. We don't need to put the animals are not like a miracle food that we need to eat. And people will skew that information because of agendas. The facts are there. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just preposterous to think that if I eat, a little bit of egg or fish, I'll be all better. We don't need it. We don't need it. There's other things we can eat. Yeah, Trini, I do too. I miss the expo. That was a big part of I don't know. I would go to 3 of those a year, and it was just such an amazing time. Meeting up with the different people and doing my videos and looking at all the new vegan products and talking to all the CEOs of the vegan companies, asking them all the relevant questions that people wanted to know, trying not to eat dairy that was put into vegan products and having them lie about it, just so many things. But yeah, I miss the expos. Captain Carb, I'm with you there. I never did either. I remember spitting it out more often than not into a napkin. And I don't find myself ever doing that with vegan food, unless it's a mushroom. Yeah, okay, Stacy, for that one. I don't have any, but your daughter, people saying how can you force veganism on your daughter? Okay, so my response to that would be parents do what's best for their children. Their children lives under their household, their rules. I mean, when I grew up, my parents raised me Catholic. I had to go to church. I had to go to religion class. I had to do I didn't want to do any of that. But guess what? I lived under their roof. They were my parents. They were the boss. They did what they thought was right until I was old enough to do what I chose to do. Okay? So I don't hate them for that. I don't hold anything against them for that. And I think that's the right way to raise a child. Do with your values, and then let the child decide later on in life. If I ruled the house, I'm no, I'm not going with you guys. They'd be okay, well, I guess, they wanted to go. They wanted to take me to church, and that was their way of doing it. So it's the same thing. And I'm not comparing veganism to religion. I'm just using that as an example of what I had to do that I didn't want to do. When a parent raises a kid vegan, how can that be forcing? No, you're trying to do the right thing. My mom and dad, they didn't let me drink beer and alcohol and stuff? Yeah, I know, because they didn't think that was good for a child to be doing. Well, if you're raising a kid and you're like, I don't want my kid raised eating meat and dairy. I want to raise my kid with ethics and morals, and it's healthy, and there's no reason why I shouldn't be doing this. And if for whatever reason, I hope they don't, but if for whatever reason when they're like 17, 18, when they make their own decisions and they're ready to move out of the house, they want to make their own decisions, that's up to them. I'm not going to tell them what they can do at that point. But when they're living here, yeah, exactly. I don't care what anybody, like, I don't care if somebody's not vegan or anything. So I have my own rules, and I never had this before because, I grew up, living at my parents' house, and then I had like an apartment with roommates and stuff like that. But it wasn't until 10 years ago that I was able to buy my own house. So I have my own house now. Guess what? I can finally make the rule that I don't want any animal products in my house. So if you're not vegan, I'm not gonna say anything to you for not being vegan. Like, that's your choice. But you can't come in my house, and you just can't come in my house with non-vegan food. I don't allow it. Like, if you just went to McDonald's, you want to come over here and eat, I'm sorry. That's my rules, and people know that, and I don't feel bad about it. Like, I don't want somebody coming over here and using my pots and pans to cook up a steak or anything like that, So those are my rules. So yeah, Stacy, my brother and his wife are raising vegan kids, and that's their prerogative. They can do that, and when Katie's older, if she wanted to make that decision that she wanted to try non-vegan food, that's her decision. But they're bringing her up the best way they know how. And you know what? We were blinded all those years, but the best way I know how would be vegan. So if I had kids, I would raise them vegan as well. Am I Christian? No, I'm no longer. I'm not. I'm not religious. I was brought up in a very religious family. Would I allow someone that had? I'm not I just don't want animal products in my house. Like, if my parents came to visit me and they had just, went out to eat or something, and my dad was eating whatever, I'm not going to say you can't come in here. No. How about the no vegans forcing animal products on them? It is a dumb argument. But another dumb argument is this: when a meat eater says this, and I got to say, I heard this from like the very beginning when I went vegan. And I got to admit, I didn't know what to say about it back then, but it's very simple now. When somebody says, look, I'm not telling you, I'm not going to tell you what to eat. Like, you go ahead, be vegan. That's great. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, but don't tell me what to eat either. Cause but the reason why that argument falls apart is because that's great. Don't tell me what to eat because I'm vegan. Okay. But when somebody else kind of suggests, hey, maybe you shouldn't be eating the meat and stuff like that. And like, I don't do that. I usually spend my time teaching veganism through my social media. I've been able to reach more people that way. But the reason why that argument falls apart is because vegans don't have a victim in their food. They're not killing a victim and eating it. But a meat eater is. Like, because of your decision, an animal was raised and killed so that you can sit there and eat it. So it's a little bit different to say, like, well, I'm sticking up for the animal. I don't care what you eat as long as I don't care what anybody eats. When somebody goes vegan, like, I don't care. Like, I think it's the stupidest argument when it's like, well, that's not healthy. Well, I don't care. Like, who cares? Most people don't go vegan to be healthy. It's just like usually an added side bonus. going vegan, I don't care what somebody does with their body. I don't care if you're drinking alcohol and smoking pot. As long as you're vegan, I don't care if you're eating like the most unhealthy vegan food. I'm just happy that you're not eating animals. I'm not going to tell somebody how to live their life, but I don't like to see victims. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys get it. Like, animals are the victims there. So take that out of the equation. I don't care what somebody's doing. No, yeah, Mantis. I would love to do that. And I've even said something like that before. I'm like, if I could have traveled back in time and saw like E.T. being filmed. Whoa. Oh yeah, where was that? Where? Oh yeah, I missed it, Stacy. Where did you go to eat? What restaurant was that? That the eggs on the. Wait, why am I looking up the definition of religion? No. Veganism is not a religion. Yeah, veganism is definitely not a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's a simple ethical state of mind. That's it. It's just good over evil. That's what it is. It's an ethical choice. A lot of people try to call it a religion. Anti-vegans try to call it very like a cult. It's neither. It's very simple. It's just a compassionate point of view. I mean, some people, I will admit there are extremists in every group out there. There are some pretty extreme people that do extreme things that honestly I think kind of put a bad light on veganism. But they kind of look crazy. But it's definitely not. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. It was a mix in Ithaca. Yeah, you definitely should, because people eat that. That's not good at all. And what if people are there people allergic to eggs? I don't know. I never had any allergies. But if there's people allergic to eggs and they see something vegan, then they automatically, well, it's vegan. There's no eggs in it. They're not going to think eggs are in it. Veganism is definitely not a religion or a cult. Produce. I don't know, man. That you got some questionable comments lately, Produce. You wish you were straight edge as well. Well, I mean, if you wish for something, just do it. It's simple as that. It's a state of mind and willpower to follow through with it. It's very easy. Parth, I don't think Vegan Gains is an extremist like that. I know he'll some of the things that he says are pretty I wouldn't call him an extremist. Like, as far as like extremists going out marching through restaurants and stores and yelling, and I think that's a bit extreme. Honestly, it kind of makes us look bad. I get it, but I don't think you got to remember that the average person is they're not going to look at it as like, oh, I get this. That's not the way they're going to look at it. There's like a transition period for people when they do this. Like, first they realize, and then they wake up to it, and then they do it. and then they reach out for others, and then when they see a bunch of others being negative about everything, they're like, ooh, I don't want anything to do with these people. They're so negative. Like, I'm afraid to say anything. Like, if I made a mistake or something, they're all gonna like jump down my throat and like scream at me. And this is true. This happens. This happens in vegan groups. People that are like, oh, I'm more vegan than anybody. Vegan police, that kind of shit. And it makes us look bad. It's like counterproductive to veganism. It really is. Don't think that I don't see where they're coming from, because I do, but I'm taking a different approach, trying to get more people to be vegan and to be comfortable talking to others. And that usually works. That usually works better than, when somebody feels that they can come to you and ask for advice or, questions and information, then it's a lot better, because some people are coming from like, they don't know what to do, even though it's way easier today than it was back then. And I don't think it was hard back then, but we have more resources today than we did back then. So, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they can easily go on the internet and find like a whole ton of information of how to do certain things. But then they can I have people reach out to me and I help them out the best I can, or I'll point them in different, videos or information out there. But, when you post something on like a vegan message board and people are like, you're not vegan if you're doing that, like you are, it's just like, what? And I've seen this stuff happen. And it's like, you're driving these poor people away. They're trying to learn. Yeah, I don't understand Marvel either, about anti-vegans. It's like they come at, it's like, I don't really find too many vegans going after and putting down anti-vegans. I see most vegans replying and responding to the just negative rhetoric of the anti-vegans. And, they'll just come onto a vegan page or whatever, which I had one yesterday and the day all the time. And then they'll just say the most ridiculous things and like hateful comments and like, you guys, like, I've been told that I'm wasting away. I'm on death's doorstep. I look like I've prematurely aged. I look really old for my age. I've been told that my skin is really bad, that I have autoimmune diseases. I mean, they're diagnosing me based on what I look like. I'm glad that they want to give me all these, diagnoses that a doctor would give, but, I don't need all that. because I am healthy. So it's BS. And that they can't actually think this stuff. Like, I don't think that I've always been told all my life, and this isn't me like, bragging or anything, but I've been told all my life, all my adult life at least, that people have always thought that I was a lot younger than I actually am. And, I kind of agree. So, but all these other vegans, they find out how old I am and they're like, oh, you look way older than you actually are. It's your vegan lifestyle is doing that to you. It's like, I'm almost 45. Okay. So I'm still active. I still skateboard, whatever. It's just, I don't know. AJ, thank you for the super chat, for the cuss jar, $4.99 for the cuss. Hey, if I'm going to get super chats for cussing, then what the, I'll swear more. Has anyone ever told me I look like, well, no, actually, but you just told me, actually, wait a minute. When I was younger, I was a pretty hardcore skateboarder for a very long time. Since I was like 14, that's when I started doing it like hardcore. So 30 years now I've been a hardcore skater, but I got pretty good in my town. Like I'm bragging now. I was like the best skater in my town, and we would always we'd go out and skate. And I was about like 17, 18, senior in high school, and I got really good. And I remember I was skating at the elementary school where I went to school on the blacktop and everything. I was there, and I was with my little brother. And this other kid was there that was he was friends with my little brother. He didn't know who I was. he didn't even know I was my brother's brother because I wasn't, I just saw him there and he saw me skateboard and he's like, can you do this trick? And I did it. And he's like, that's pretty good, but I got a friend that's way better than you. I'm like, oh, really? Who's your friend? He's like, Chris Cooney. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Tell me more about this Chris Cooney. And he's like, he's like the best skater around here, and he's a little bit better than you. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Well, I'm Chris Cooney. And he's like, and he was really embarrassed. And the second time that happened was I was driving to my parents' house. This is a long time ago too. I'm probably like 20. And there was some kids skateboarding in the road, and I kind of stopped my car and I just looked out. I go, do a kickflip over it. Before that whole kickflip thing, this is way before YouTube. This is back in like 95 or 6, somewhere around there. Not 95 because I was in Florida there. So been like 96 or 97. So somewhere in the 90s. So I stopped the car and I look over. I'm like, do a kickflip over it. And he just looks at me like, dude, I'm not as good as you. And I'm like, what? How? He's like, dude, I know who you are. I'm like, what the? And I just drove away. And I had no clue who this dude was. Rebalance. Thank you for that. 20 pounds. That's more than $20, by the way. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being you. With the little avocado. What is that avocado holding? Oh, a mirror. I thought the avocado was holding another avocado. Thank you. I guess I was popular in my little hometown back then. Not anymore. Nobody knows who I am anymore. You love my voice imitation of the guy. What guy? Oh yeah. Well, he wasn't even a guy. He was a little kid. Well, I mean, he's like in mid-30s now, but back then. Where are we at now? Oh yeah, I felt, this is funny too. When I met the owners of Chicago Vegan Foods, just because Veganly, thank you for the $20. So awesome of you guys. I appreciate it. You're gonna make me forget the story the 9th most famous person. No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near there. I'm like 30 or something. Wherever it was. Yes, I know. And there's a website called famousbirthdays.com and it shows all celebrities. And for whatever reason, I'm on there. They notified me a few years ago. They're like, this is your, we made a profile for you. Is everything right? Let me know. And I looked at it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on this website where I'm like the 30 most famous person in Syracuse. Like well after Tom Cruise and Post Malone and I don't know, whatever. What was the story that I totally forgot. How did I start the story? Because I totally forgot. I've been good at not forgetting things, not losing my train of thought. I used to do that a lot years ago, but I don't do that anymore. But I totally wandered off here for a little bit. I'd have to rewind it to see what I started out saying. That super chat totally thank you. What was the story I was going to tell? Oh yeah. Okay. So when I first met Ryan and Dan from Chicago Vegan Foods, the owners of Dandy's Marshmallows, and we were at an expo and we were talking. Me and John were there. We were talking to them, and Ryan found out that I was from Syracuse, and he's a big hardcore kid back in the day, and because a lot of hardcore music came from Syracuse. So he's like, oh yeah, I was there listening to this band. You ever heard of them? I'm like, no, actually, I never heard of that one. And he's like, oh, what am I talking about? Like, back when I was doing that, you were probably in diapers still. And I'm like, how old are you? He's like, a lot older than you. And I'm like, how old are you? And he told me, I'm like, dude, I'm a year older than you. And he's looking at me, he's like, what? I'm like, dude, I wasn't in diapers. I'm a year older than you. So he thought I was way younger than I actually was too. That was a funny one. I've had a bunch of funny ones, but that was probably like 5 years ago or something. So I was like almost 40 at the time that he said that. I thought it was funny. I like when people come up to me and like, okay, kids. And I'm like, kids? I'm 10 years older than you. Yeah, that's what the anti-vegan said. He said I looked like, no, it was a she. She said I looked like I was in my mid-30s. That's actually too old for me. So I need to start being better at looking younger, because ideally I wanted to be 23 all my life. So wow, this is we got 70 people watching live stream. I need to make a video for tomorrow. You want to be about 27 again? The 27 Club. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain. $23. I'm good now. Like if I can just look like this for the next 70 years, then I would be happy. I'm always waiting to like get up and look in the mirror and be like, what? No. But I've been waiting for a long time, and it seems to still. I'm not even gonna say anything, because then the coincidences and synchronicities. I'm gonna look tomorrow and be like, oh my god, old man Withers. Trini's only seeing 42. I can't see the likes, so I have no idea how many likes we got. But if you guys could, go ahead and give me a like. Maybe that'll boost the algorithm here. Who knows? What time is it? It's 12. Oh my god, I didn't know it was 1 o'clock. 12:58 over here on the East Coast. How many voices have I done? Maybe you are Brad Pitt. Benjamin Button. I almost said Benjamin Rush. Aw, thanks, Lee. I look great for 60. Yeah, actually I'm 150. Vampire age. I know, I have the painting in my vault downstairs. His name's Jacob. Jacob Gray. That would be sweet, and I would never show that picture to anybody. I wouldn't even, like, my best friend secret kind of thing. Like, that would have to be, like, nobody would have to ever know about that. Exactly, Sabrina. They're going to do it. I read some articles that they would have it in the next 7 or 8 years to start out, because they already have some. They probably already have something like that. You know they do. But they're not going to give it to. I mean, if they can make a lot of money, they might. But they're not going to generally just give it to the public, because they're already trying to do things about the overpopulation. There's way more people in the world now than there was 50 years ago. It's doubled. I need one big YouTube star to collaborate. Who could I possibly get? Anybody that has a bigger channel than me does not even talk to me. And I want to say I'm the opposite. I talk to everybody. I don't. But it's weird. There's a weird thing about the YouTube community. If they have more followers than you, they don't talk to you. I've never experienced it. Or maybe it's not that they don't talk to you, but they won't collaborate with you. Or they will, but they won't reciprocate. Definitely got to keep them long. Well, I tried reaching out to Vegan Gains. I don't know how to get a hold of him. I messaged him on his Facebook, but I haven't heard back. He doesn't have Instagram. Your sweet Chris. Oh, I love how you use your the right way. The correct way, Trini. Who's bigger? Come on. Oh, he's active on Twitter. Okay. I'm not very active on Twitter. I'll try that. Because I think I must have missed it. I saw that he was in my stream the other day, but I guess I must have missed what he said because somebody said that he was looking to contact me or something. We did a little we did a little video together. I ate lunch with him in Toronto. And we did a video. I did a little interview with him. Not a very long, just a very quick interview. Can you do a video based on vegan alternatives? Shoot. Yeah, I could do that. I need ideas because, like, would you ever pay to cuddle? No. But I would cuddle and get paid to do it. I'd do that. Probably, maybe. I'm a germ freak, but I don't know if the price is right. I saw pay for cuddles. Come cuddle. Yeah, I've heard of that before. People make a lot of money just to go cuddle or hang out with somebody. What else? There's some weird things out there. There is an invisibility cloak. I just saw a video of it the other day. They made an invisibility cloak. It basically replicates whatever is around it, so it's like a mirror of anything that's around. It kind of looks like Predator when Predator goes in invisibility mode. And you put it on, and it's like Harry Potter. I mean, you can still tell something's there, but it's if you're not looking for it. Oh yeah, I did a live stream with him too, but that wasn't the video I was talking about. I've done a video where I interviewed him and stuff outside the restaurant we were at, and he showed us his motorcycle and. A professional massage. I've never had one. I wouldn't want to do one. Who wants to give a massage? I would get a massage though. I've never had one. I definitely don't like to be tickled. That's torture. Twitch is a platform that people live stream on, and it's mostly gaming. So I do play a few games where I go on there and I just talk like this to anybody. Not many people talk to me like we're doing right now as far as like vegan things, but we talk about whatever, and I'm free to talk whatever the questions are. A lot less people go there and watch me than this. Like right now we got about 80 people watching. Over there we might have 3 or 4, maybe 9. I think the most I had was 30, but that was only like 1 or 2 times. For the most part, it's, I usually do it later, but I'm going to be doing a new game. People asked me to start playing the zombie game, and I checked it out. So as soon as I can set everything up, because that's going to be another hassle, I just got the console to do it with, and I have no idea how to set. So I got to do some tutorials on how to set it up, and then I'll be streaming some zombie game. But right now I've been streaming EverQuest. So that's like the game that I started playing like 20 years ago. And it's still my favorite game to this day. So Rebalancer on here plays with me, and Linda's always on there, and Trini's always on there, and there's a couple other people. But for the most part, if you guys want to go over there to Twitch, it's Twitch TV / The Vegan Zombie, but there's no E at the end. It's just Vegan Zombie with an I. Somebody took my name. I feel like I say that every single time the same way, that I should just have a button to press where I can say that whole sentence. I would love to do camping videos, but I have no, I haven't gone camping. A contest to talk to your subscribers live, like an interview. I mean, like what we're doing now, or like, what do you mean? You just got the notification that we went live? We've been live for 2 hours now. Wow. I'm about ready to close this live stream down. Yeah, the rebalancer, Lena, is the best part of EverQuest because she's got an awesome accent. But the audio doesn't always come through on her part, so it's kind of a double-edged coin. A double-edged coin? No, a double-edged sword. I need to stream video games on. Well, I could probably do it on this channel. I do have a YouTube channel that I upload all my YouTube videos to, or my Twitch videos to. But I've got like 30 subscribers. It's nothing like this. But I don't think I would do that to the main channel. Cuddling in the time of COVID. That sounds like a book. That sounds like a book that would be written in 40 years from now. Back in the time of COVID. We're talking about 2020. Way back then. It was the worst year. It started out. I don't know. Yes, you need a better internet. It's so hard to hear you. Skype or FaceTime? Oh, you mean something like that, where I interview some of the, like, I have different people come on, and what service does that? Like, I can like have somebody come on, and if they're just like, I don't know, if they're like, maybe I get somebody that like starts like being a troll or something, and I can get rid of them real quick and bring another one in. It's like, you got 30 seconds. Try to entice me to keep you on. Okay, off. Next. Okay, off. Next. Because you never know. I mean, it's a risk, because like somebody could like totally troll you and show something really bad that would get your channel taken down. So it's kind of, I don't know. ASMR is always good for me. I love ASMR. Skype consults. Yeah, I've been talking about that. If we can, I said I would do it, but I haven't seen like that much interest with anybody. A troll button, yeah. Yeah, TVZ streamer. That's my. All right, have a good night, Stacy. I'm gonna get going too. We're almost at 2 hours, so. Sometimes celebs will FaceTime with fans. I'm not a celeb, but I would FaceTime. Like consults and stuff. Or I just think it's weird just to sit there and FaceTime though. For no reason. I don't even like doing that with like people I know. Hi. Oh, is that your cat? Oh. Oh yeah, this angle doesn't look good. Yeah. All right, well. Oh, really? Okay, I'm going to get going. No, so that would be me. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I would do with live stream. I upload them all there, but I live stream to Twitch, and it usually, I don't know what happened, but it used to go to my Facebook stream too, and it would be live. And then when it was done, I would save that file and re-upload it to the YouTube channel. I was trying to grow my Twitch, and that was probably the primary reason that I never streamed to YouTube. But I mean, I guess I could do that. I think I got the saturation up too high. There it is at 0. My face is definitely not that red. There we go. And I found that out at the end of the video. Oh, that's your cat? Meow. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. I just don't think it's I mean, I guess I could try it, but I don't think it's really a smart idea to do it on my main channel. I think if I did it on my main channel, that I would get more unsubscribes than people interested in it. But we could definitely do it on this channel's for anything. It says my Twitch channel has no videos. No, it should have videos. Hold on. Maybe you didn't go to the right channel. I gotta pull this up and then go to this. This is my Twitch channel, everybody. If you want to go subscribe to it, that would be awesome. I don't really have very many followers, only 230 compared to this channel where I got like 17,000, 16,000, somewhere around there. Goodbye for us. Goodbye. Oh, you forgot the, yeah. Yep. So this would be, the last video here would be, well, the last few videos would be me and Lena playing. I think some of them might be a little bit, I don't know. It's a little bit weird. Like when nobody's watching, I don't talk as much. So it's not going to be as exciting as if I had more people watching like I am right now. Like if there was nobody on here, I probably would have already ended it, but also I wouldn't be talking as much. But that's why people come to live streams to hear you talk. So when I'm playing the game and nobody's watching, I end up just playing the game and not really saying much. But if there was a lot of people in the chat talking, yeah, I'd be telling that's how you interact. You got to interact with people. You can only say so much before it just gets weird. It might not be weird to you guys, but it's weird to me. Like if I'm just talking, like, yeah, people come on and a lot of people even put it on in the background and they're not even really they just want to hear the background of it while they're doing other things. But for me, I'm just sitting here talking to myself. So your dog's cuter, my dog's cuter than your dog. It's a tune. You think we were interacting fine? Yeah, P99 is you know, once you get into it and you get addicted to it. I remember Linda when I first started playing. I don't think she really knew what to think about it at the beginning. Now she's addicted to watching P99. I mean, I feel like she wants to watch P99 more than I want to play it. Is that true, Linda? Actually, that's how I met you. P99. No, I never even heard of that. Bendy and the Ink Machine. No. There's a couple games I was looking at with, I mean, the only game I've really ever played in the last, because I just got addicted to this game, so I never really tried to play other games, but this was one of them, EverQuest, and then later on I played Warcraft, but I'm back to EverQuest. But I do want to try this zombie game because it really pulls you in. I wanted to check it out, so I went to YouTube and I just Googled it, YouTubed it, and found gameplay, somebody playing it for, you know, whatever. And I just started watching. I put the full screen up. I started watching it, and it drew me right in. Like I didn't want to stop watching it. So I'm like, all right, if it's that good and it drew me in, then, you know, I think people might want to watch it if I start doing that, and, you know, we can have a discussion while we're doing it. And the other game that I was looking at, just because I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid, was Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks pretty good too, so I'm thinking of maybe grabbing that. And I have some free Kohl's cash because that's why I ordered it. So I got free Kohl's cash next week, so I'm gonna use that to buy the games, or at least one of them, because one of them's kind of expensive, the other one's kind of cheap. So you gotta do what you gotta do. So if you guys want to just go over there and follow me, and then you'll get notifications when I go on. And I don't always do it I do a lot late at night, but sometimes I'll do it earlier. And I would think that once I get the PlayStation up, then I'll be doing that earlier too, because it just seems like a fun thing to do. We could go on there and just, I don't know, chat, talk, whatever. I used to play Excite Bike when I was little. I had the original. I still have the original Nintendo in the box. I have a Commodore 64 that I still have. I bought an Atari when I won a local raffle ticket. So, yeah, I've been playing games since they came out. The first one I ever saw was Pong when my dad's friend came over and hooked it up to our black and white TV, and there was Pong. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like 5, 4, maybe 4. Late 79, 3, 4. I was 4. Early 1980. I've tasted diet soda, but I've always hated all diet sodas. I always thought they were gross. And I don't drink soda at all anymore. It's been like 15, 20 years since I drank soda. Probably more in the middle of that, maybe like 17, 18. And I used to drink when I was don't take that out of context because I didn't finish the statement. I used to drink a lot of soda when I was little. And I remember the thing, I used to drink Dr. Pepper, and I liked Pepsi over Coke. And my grandma always had Pepsi. Tommy, get me a Pepsi. My dad's name is Tom. And then when I got a little bit older, but even before I was a vegetarian, I remember playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friend. I would spend the night and we'd all play Dungeons and Dragons, and we'd how did we get the money? Maybe my friend's parents ordered us a pizza, because I remember we had pizza and we all had our own bottle of Mountain Dew, like the 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew, and that's all I used to drink. But then I went through a phase where I was like, okay, it wasn't a phase because it was like it never ended. It was I went from drinking like that kind of soda to only drinking soda that did not have caffeine in it. So I would only drink certain soda. And there's not a lot of sodas that didn't have caffeine in it, added caffeine. Like there's Sprite, doesn't have caffeine. And then I believe A&W Root Beer doesn't have caffeine. Barks does. Mountain Dew had a ton of caffeine. So I just stopped. No more caffeine. And then I got to the point where I'm like, no more soda at all. Captain Carve, keep doing it. Keep playing video games. There's no age limit. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're getting notifications when you're sleeping. I try to always do. You want me? My grandma voice, another one. I try to do these streams. I know it's late right now, but I tried to start at least before midnight. And I would have done it a little bit earlier, but I had to go to the store tonight. So I try to do that. And on my main channel, when I go live, I try to do that even earlier, just so everybody can see it. This is kind of like the later ones for people that want to see it. But I have a funny story about that, about my grandma, and I have videos to back it up. So there's a movie that my dad filmed, and when I say movie, like movie camera film, and it's 1979. He always puts the date in there, and it was in my grandma's house. It was, I think it I think it was, I don't know. It was either around Easter or Christmas, but we were all there with my, my aunt and uncle and cousins and everything. And my grandma's sitting there with the microphone because my dad gave her the microphone and she's like, Tommy, I don't want to be on camera. And as this is happening, like kids, I'm running by, I'm 3.5. I'm running by and my cousins are running by. And now I want to show you this. I want to show you this now, but I'll do it next time. My uncle comes up from behind and he's got a pickle, like sliced pickles, not like a whole pickle, sliced pickles from the jar. And he comes over to my grandma and he reaches down and he puts it in front of her face and he goes, want a pickle? And she goes, no, I don't want a pickle. And that was like our family joke for years, and it still is. Want a pickle? And just the way she said it. So then, like 20 years later, wow, 20 years later still was 20 years ago. I'm trying to think of how old I am. Wow. So 20 years later, now I'm like in my 20s, 20 years ago, and my grandma's in the kitchen, and I got my camcorder, and I look over at her, I'm go, Grandma Cooney, want a pickle? And she goes, want a pickle? What do you mean? And I'm like, you'll see. And I spliced those two videos together, and I did a lot with that stuff because I have got all these old movies of like, I've got movies even before I was born of my dad. And I even recreated one that he did in the same exact location that I'd love to show you guys. I should try to redo it today. Like, because I'm older now I'm like 15 years older now than he was in that video. But anyway, I want to show you guys that video sometime. I can't really find it right now, but that was a funny now and then. And it's her, you know what? I should do it right now because it's her birthday today in memory of my grandma. All right, let me look for it real quick. I don't know if I can find it off like right off the bat. And my thing's not responding. What the heck? All right, give me a second. I got to think where. I've got like all these different hard drives. Where the heck is this video? It's probably here. And then here. No. Here. Just give me a second. Maybe I can find it. Alpaca Llama. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. More zombie-filled cooking videos, and I don't care how many times you make pizza. I'll watch it, and lives are always fun. And your old family movies and stories. Awesome, thank you. I will do more pizza videos. I like making pizza. All right, let me try to find this. Where the heck is it? Now that I think about it, it is her birthday, so if I can find it, I'd like to show. Oh, I know that's the same day, but it's not the right movie. Oh, I found it. Okay, good. Now I got to see if the sound works on my computer. Oh man. Okay, let me see. Hold on one second here. Desktop audio. Hello. No. Hello. Audio output capture. Where's my desktop audio? Mic. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Just give me a second. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry. I just want to make sure you have sound before I. Okay. So this is what I want to do. Mic. All right, I gotta test something real quick and see if you guys can hear it. So let me just play. I need to make sure my desktop audio works. So let me just play, I don't know, like a YouTube video and just tell me if you guys can hear it. All right, I'll just play one of my old videos. Okay, that was an ad. Can you guys hear any of that? Tell me if you guys can hear any of that. And now I got to go find out where you guys are, so. Grandma testing, yeah. You could not hear any of that. Okay. Okay, that's not good. Okay, why can you not hear that? Audio output capture. Hello. Hello, hello. Let's try again. Hello. Okay, so I think you can hear it now, right? Could you hear that? Audio. Okay, okay, so we got it. All right, so let me pull this video up.
Callie, leave my hair alone, please.
Okay, hold on, let me pause it. All right, so I'm going to show you, this is video footage from 1979 and then 2000. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So why is everything messing up for me? Hold on, I think I got it. All right, right here. Cancel. Okay, so this is, let me see. Can you see everything? Let me make it bigger. Hold on. I just wanted to, no, wrong button. Nope. Yep. Okay. All right. So it's her birthday today. She would have been 108. She's not with us anymore. Here we go. I hope it's not too loud. Was it too loud when I played it? That was loud. Okay, hold on. Let me turn that down a little bit, You just let me know if this is okay.
Callie, leave my hair alone, please. And Dana, get it out of the front of me. And it's a rainy day today.
There's me.
I don't know what else to say. You want a pickle? No, I don't want a pickle. I see you were at my pickles. Those are the kind of pickles he likes. I have to buy them every time he comes. They're crushed and Blackwell cooked pickles.
Don't take a picture of me. Grandma Cooney, you want a pickle? Want a pickle? What do you mean by that?
Want a pickle?
Pickle.
Come on, dude.
There's my mom. Okay, so there you go. You saw it. That was the difference of, wow, 41 years ago and then 20 years ago, something like that. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. Want a pickle? And that little kid with the bow tie, that was me. Want a pickle? So, happy birthday, Grandma. Okay, there we go. I just put that in the description. Grandma's birthday. 108. My mom would have been my age. Like, 20? That was a long time ago. 20 years ago. No, she still would have been older than I am now, but still. Yeah, I'm glad my dad made so many movies too, because I've got a lot more movies to show you guys that I just need to sort out. I got some like video gold for you guys. So MJ, who's MJ? You're one cool dude. Thank you, MJ. Do I know you? The reason why I'm asking. Yeah, my grandma was awesome. No, I don't. Okay, because my aunt is MJ, and that would have been her daughter, and that's her house currently. Actually, that house we just showed. I was living there 3 years ago. Remember, I was doing videos over there. Yep. All right. Other videos right now that I could show you, probably not. I'd have to look through them to find. Turn the cover. Some of them have music in them that I put in there where YouTube would just be like, no, we're taking this video down because you used copyrighted music. So no. So. Okay. Yeah, I'll find some other. I can't really do that right now, but it would be fun. Full circle, yeah. I didn't even know I was going to show that tonight, but then it's the perfect time. It's her birthday. So think about that. Okay, so this is the last thing we're going to think about before I leave. This is profound. I think this is profound. Imagine being born in 1912 and growing up in the teens of the 1900s and thinking to yourself, you'd have no clue that somebody would be watching a video of you 108 years later. 108 years later in the future, a bunch of people would come together on something that wasn't even thought up of yet, the internet, and they'd be watching a video of you, of what you look like, of what you sounded like, and your reactions and everything, 108 years later. And that's exactly what happened tonight. So with that, have a good night. And don't let the zombies bite. And we will talk again soon.